What's up everyone, welcome back to another episode of Trick Tip Tuesday. This is episode 15 and today is all about the front side flip. Now to learn the front side flip, there are two tricks that you really need to learn how to do before even attempting this. You need to learn the front side 180 and the kick flip. If you combine those together, you have the front side flip. Now the front side flip is slightly more different than the back side flip because you're kind of pushing the board in two opposite directions. You're scooping the 180 this direction, but your front foot is flicking the board the opposite direction. So a lot of times when people start to learn this trick, the board doesn't really go anywhere. Whereas with a backside flip, you're scooping the board this way for the 180 and you're also flicking it in the exact same direction. So it makes much more sense to do a backside flip. Backside flips are easier for me now, but I actually learned front side flips first. So there really isn't a particular order for you to learn one before the other one. Just whatever one feels more comfortable, just go with that one. Now the key to this trick, for me, I almost think of it like a tray flip. It's all in the scoop of your back foot. I tend to almost always under-rotate this trick. So I'll do the scoop, it does the kick flip, but then it lands sideways instead of coming all the way back around to roll away straight. And that's because my back foot isn't scooping hard enough and my shoulders aren't throwing around hard enough to get the full 180 rotation. And to help with this, just get your front side 180s super solid. Like you never miss a front side 180. You can scoop it, throw it all the way around, perfectly back straight every time. That's gonna help you a ton. And then still, after you've mastered 180s, getting the hang of just throwing all your weight while flicking the board is gonna take some time. One of the best ways to start learning this trick is to just scoop it and flick it and just see what happens. Just throw your shoulders, give everything you've got, and just see what happens to the board. Just practice that over and over again until it kind of looks like a front side flip. And then once you can do that, you can start learning how to do the flip and landing it with your front foot. And if you've watched all these other trick tips, you've heard this a million times already. Practicing catching with one foot is a very crucial step to learning how to do any kind of skate trick. Don't just expect to hop on the board and be able to do all these tricks first try. It's a process and you need to break it down into smaller steps to make the learning process easier. So again, the key for this trick for me is all in the back foot. I push the board as hard as I can into that front side 180 rotation and then flick it, and then it's ready for me to catch and land. Another tip is that I think of flipping it late. So when you do a kick flip, as soon as you pop, you almost immediately flick. It's like pop, flick, land, right? But for a front side flip, I tend to wait half a second longer to actually flick the board. So I scoop as hard as I can, and then when I'm kind of turned around, I flick my foot, and then the board flips, and then it's there for you to catch to land in the 180. So if there are two takeaways from this, it's scoop as hard as you can and maybe wait a little bit longer to flick the board with your front foot. Because sometimes if you flick too early, the board flings out in front of you and it's not quite there. Also with the flick, think about flicking down into the ground. If you do a rocket kick flip to where the board's like this when it's flipping, it's not gonna do a 180. You wanna make sure when you pop it, you flick down so the board stays parallel to the ground and you can get that full 180. Now the front side flip is a tricky one. Like I mentioned earlier, the board is kind of going in opposite directions under your feet. And then at the same time, your body's doing a rotation. And that's a lot of steps to put all together in one trick. But again, don't expect to do this in a day. This trick is gonna take time to learn and you have to go put into practice or it's not gonna happen. So scoop the front side 180 really hard, really aggressively, flick a little bit late, and flick down. And if you think about those things, I really do think you're gonna be able to learn this trick pretty quickly. So these have been a couple tips and tricks about how to frontside flip for me and my personal experience learning frontside flips. If any of these tips and tricks helped you, please hit that like button. It helps me out a ton. It helps other people see my videos. If you wanna see more from me, hit that subscribe button because I upload every Tuesday and Friday at 8 p.m. There'll be some older videos right here. Please check those out, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.